All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday with the man, Gyiraszin. 5 games on tap, but it's a pretty good 5-gamer. Coors Field, so we know all the bats. Chalk's going to go there. Looking at pitching, one guy in the tier of its own, one of the best pitchers in baseball, and Tyreek Skubal. But there is weather concern. One game, and that is that Detroit-Minnesota game. Roth has it orange-yellow. It's a very long paragraph. Pretty much summarized it by he has no clue what's going to happen. He needs it to be closer to lock, and even closer to lock, he said he's not sure. So delay very much in play. Got to be around your computer at least before that 6:40 game. Early lock time at 6:40 Eastern. I think that's the broad slate overviews. You see SaberSim, Phillies, Mets, Tigers. Couple of teams have run totals above 5 besides Coors Field. That is where the chalk is going to be, though, definitely at Coors. Before I say hi to people, bring in Gyiraszin. How are we doing today, Gyiraszin?
Yeah, can't complain. It's a little muggy and sticky out here in Michigan today, but you know what? I got my lucky one here, which are pretty good. A little lemonade, some vodkas. I had a little safety meeting, and I'm still giggling last night. I mean, yesterday's slate was kind of, that's always a must. Yeah, I mean, you got to make sure everybody's safe. We don't want any kind of injuries. We got to talk about things, make sure everybody's good. But like last night, I mean, it was a safety meeting before the slate. Dude, and one thing Mookie's out. He was going to be out. And then all of a sudden, Muncie's out. And then Mookie's back in. I was like looking at my shit going, am I like tripping out? Like, what is happening here? Like, it was like you had to kind of like, that was one of the days. It's very rare. Generally, you see stuff like that in baseball. But, I mean, we were paying attention anyway because we were trying to figure out the weather in the 2 New York games, which, both end up going. Joe Ryan had a pretty good game. I was a little off on JT Ginn yesterday. That shit happens. But as I put in MLB chat, I still cash with the big fat 0 from my pitcher. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But I had the Dodgers and Mets as I talked yesterday on the show. So I ended up cashing with that. But, yeah, today's slate, you're going to have to decide. Like on FanDuel, I was joking, little screwball with some whiskey. Or do you want to go with some Coors Light action? So you're going to have to decide. You want to drink whiskey or beer tonight? I mean, the slate. But, you want to jam in some of them bottom hitter. I mean, them top 4 hitters on the D-backs are, I mean, good job. Even FanDuel priced them up over 4K, 4,500. About time you figured it out. But, yeah, so, yeah, interesting kind of slate. It's decent. We got some pitchers that, maybe we don't have to use Skubal. Maybe there's a couple guys. I think Luzardo will probably be kind of chalky today. But, hey, we'll get through that. It's a good time. Always fun talking some baseball. I mean, we got all these promos going on with the big golden ship it ticket, all this crap going on. The DK Live final for baseball is actually this week. Kind of feels weird. I've been to all of them, like for the last, I can't even tell you how long. I'm not at this one, and I would prefer to go to this one because it's at Fenway. So that would be cool. I mean, Wrigley, I've been there a couple times, so I mean that's where it was last year. But it's always fun hanging out with the crew. It seems like there's a handful of the same people that show up that are usually a good time. But hey, either way, I'm gonna keep my ass in Michigan, lay low a little bit this week, get ready for some football, do some best ball drafts. Yeah, I'm gonna get into. We got some football we're getting ready for. But always baseball to have fun with. And this is the time of year when we start getting them football donkeys back. We had football donkeys at the beginning of the year, and they got a little extra money in their account. Well, now they're all drafting best balls and shit like that. So, we get a few guys that want to, come on over in our field. So sometimes I do spend a little more time looking at them 3-man boards. Like if I start seeing some donkeys in the, $50 and $100 3-mans, might have to take smart like that. So
I used to grind those 3-mans real hard when I didn't see the names BK Ryder or something. I was in every single one that I could get up to. So
when I was when I was doing those more or less, I had to avoid the name Hoop 24-10.
I was back. If you want to hear a funny story real quick, how I got the first job, and that was at Rum Pier Sports, I hit up Hoop. The reason Hoop knew my name is I was battling Hoop in 530 and plus head-to-heads nightly in a lot of sports in the head-to-head streets. So he had no clue who I was. He never – the interview, my Wi-Fi, my computer, it didn't even really work. He just blindly trusted me for the fact of, all right, this dude battles $500+ a day with me in the streets. He knew the name. Now I'm still sitting here, one of the best guys in the industry. So, yeah, Hoop absolutely ran the FanDuel streets. We had plenty of battles back in the day. That's really funny, Gyiraszin. Yeah, he was 10 years ago. Whenever you were doing it, he was still doing it as well, grinding the cash.
They actually at one point on FanDuel had a chat thing on the front. So you could be like, hey, bitch, anybody want my 530? And then these donkeys would grab it. And you're just like, dude, this is like too easy. But yeah, I mean, you learn the names. That's why I truly I kind of like to stay on FanDuel with like baseball, football, to go over to DK. Because I know the names. Like, I know the people's names. Like, you just get to know there's different names on DK than it can be the same players. But even some of the same players have different names. It takes you a little bit, to figure out who's who and to know what's going on and who the ringers are. I mean, it's just part of the game. I mean, it's like walking in a poker room title. If you don't know who anybody is, you're just going to get sucked in one day. You got to know your surroundings.
Yeah. Who's the regulars? Who's the randoms from out of town sitting down? Play styles? Absolutely. Got to, and those 3-man, 5-mans, half the time what some of the people are going to play. You obviously don't want to dupe. The best thing in a 3-man, play 2 people that are playing the same lineup. You have a different combination. That's an easy way. You only got to beat 1 people. You get paid out 3x. So, yeah, great stuff. That's sharp, Gyiraszin. Grinding those 3 5-mans throws me back to the good old days, hunting the lobby. FanDuel, their prize pools are so bad in cash nowadays. I've given up on it. But football is going to be back, though. Big boy prizes on FanDuel. I will definitely be back. And Showdown, FanDuel finally did it right. I think they added an extra spot too, 5 to 6, but they made it so you have to spend the 1.5x at MVP, which is night and day in Showdown. You shouldn't. On slates where it's 2 guys or 3 guys that project 6 or 7 points higher than the rest, that's no fun when every 98% of people play those people at MVP. So shout out to FanDuel. They definitely did it right. Easier to diversify your action if that's what you want to do this year, especially in the Showdown streets. Who we got to say hi to people? Talking NFL. Little in that great week last weekend. He took $5,000 in the Showdown streets. Definitely has a lot of content out in the Discord with this Towers. Very sharp guy. We were just going back and forth. Me, Rio, Little Mac, Sean in the NBA chat. Rio was talking a little smack about real hoops. Rio don't want that smoke. Pretending he does, but good to see a little.
I got my money on title.
Yeah, smart man. Rodney, Jason Turner, Nate D, Greg UPS. I haven't seen you in here. Good to see you though, Greg. Hey, that's a good time. Good way to kill some time. YSN, Ricky, Cam the Man, Jake, what's going on? William, AZ Bob, Justin Sports, Juice, what's up, Juice, NY, Jacob Stubbs, Cam the Man, Nate D, MN Holla. Yeah, he definitely thought. I will say, Rio can get up. I seen a video back in the day that he dunked. He was way in his prime back then. He's getting back to the gym, but he took too much time off. He crosses me over, I recover, and his shit gets swatted. He knows better. Next season around the corner. Next season around the corner. Yeah, we were talking in the chat.
That's great.
I don't got really too much more to add, I don't think. 5 games. Again, the nature of this slate, it's really easy. When you look at bats, it's Coors Field, both sides, Arizona and the Rockies. The Rockies have the second highest total on the slate. When you look at their batting order, though, only 1 position player above 4.5K. That's Hunter Goodman. Otherwise, a plethora of them, 4K and below. It's very easy to go Scooball. Let's go back here. To go Scooball Luzardo, who project the best. Jam in 5 Rockies if that's what you want to do. And yeah, DK and FanDuel did pretty good with the D-backs pricing. But if you go outside of 1 through 4, 4.2K, 3.6, 3.7, 4K, 3.3. 2 of them are catcher. Obviously, you only can play 1 on DraftKings, but you can fill out a first base position and a third base position without breaking the bank. Marte, Perdomo, Carroll, yes, they're more expensive. It's still not that hard to get at least one of them. So everyone's playing Coors Field. It's not even that hard to get Skubal with them. That's the chalky pairing. With that being said, Gyiraszin, I say just take it right into pitcher. No need to group anything. Just start telling me who to X out. I think that's probably the easiest way, and then talk about the guys you do like and what you're going to do.
Well, I mean, Skubal's by far the better pitcher on this slate today, but we do have a little bit of weather to be concerned about. So that's definitely something we're going to have to pay attention to.
Let's just talk like it plays. But yeah, it's definitely a concern. If it's a late
start like yesterday, we'll be fine. So kind of hoping for that. But either way, I think Luzardo, you got to keep in. I mean, especially against Washington, we know they have some strikeouts. We usually like to see, a strikeout lefty against Washington with all those strikeouts they have in that lineup. So definitely happy with Luzardo. I'll tell you one thing though, Cody Senga, I would X him out. I'm just not a fan. I just don't. His numbers have been bad. I wouldn't. I'm not a fan there at all. So I would cross out Senga. I think Edward Cabrera is somebody that I'm really interested in today. I think if you wanted to be different and not include Skubal today, I think if you had Luzardo and Cabrera, I think that has some pretty good upside as well today. So that would be my pairing that I would pivot off of if you were going Skubal Cabrera. I would rather, or Skubal Luzardo. I'd rather go Cabrera and Luzardo, especially on DK. And then it leaves you plenty for bats. Bybee, I'm not a fan of it, but I guess if you were, MMEing, I would probably leave him in. Bailey Ober, I want nothing to do with. He's just not been very good here in recent times. He gives up power to lefties. I think he's going to have a rough one here today. And Erod's not been good either. I mean, he's been terrible here in recent times. So Erod really scares me, and I really like the Rocky side of that. Now, if you want to look at Brad Lord, I think I'd go with it and just maybe pray a little bit that he could get the job done. But at his pricing, I think he could definitely. I mean, if you're going to use him, you might as well just go straight, right to the D-backs. But I mean, I think that's your ticket to make it work. So if you wanted to go Lord and even throw him in with, a Cabrera or Luzardo, I wouldn't be mad at you for that. I think really I'd keep it to 4 for myself: Skubal, Cabrera, Luzardo, and Ford, and I would just leave it at those 4. In reality, is the only guys that I really like. So, I think I would just get different with some of the bats. But I mean, we got a cheap guy, we got 2 middle of the road guys, and we got a really expensive guy. So I think you can make it work.
Yeah, good breakdown. I agree. Like, if I was playing 20 plus teams, I would leave Senga in just as a pivot in between Luzardo chalk, Skubal chalk. The projection is fine, sitting at about like 15. I don't love it by any means though, and I crossed it off. We'll just say we're playing less than 20 teams. I did keep Bailey Ober in, mainly just it's a price thing and just the lack of pitchers that are even viable on this slate at 7,200. I think Bybee's a good bit higher owned when people go to them. I think like if people go Luzardo, like a Luzardo, Bybee, and people go the D-backs, if you went Bybee down to Ober, that's one way you can get different with chalk D-backs. The reason I don't like Lord too much, I'll keep him in for now, but I would definitely cap him, like add his ownership and be fine if I had 0, is when people go Lord, they're either going to go Luzardo or Skubal, and then they're going to go D-backs. I think it's really clear. So if I played Lord, I'd almost want to go either not Skubal Luzardo, which doesn't even make sense. It's like you're paying all the way down to get a best pitcher. And then I'd probably want to go like the Mets or the Phillies, a team that are still expensive, the Pete Alonsos, the Juan Sotos of the world. But everyone's going to have the same roster construction when playing Lord. So I definitely would be careful. And I say Lord with the Phillies. I looked at the run total. Obviously, I don't want to play 5 Phillies against Brad Lord, so scratch that. I'd be the most inclined to play the Mets if I am going that, or like the Rockies. And then you can leave money on the table because a lot of people, again, will go D-backs with Lord and then Skubal or Luzardo because that's how you make the top of the order fit pretty easily. I do not like that combination very much. I'm almost going to just cross them off now. These are the 5 pitchers. My favorites, it's Luzardo for the savings. I mean, you're looking at $3,500, and I do love the D-backs today. I do want a lot of them. I'm fine going Luzardo with any of these 4. Obviously, Skubal, then you're getting in more of a Rockies type territory. I don't love going Luzardo, Skubal, 5 Rockies. I would probably pick one of these other stacks like the Tigers, the Phillies, the Mets, mix in the bottom of the order a little bit. Or you can go Luzardo, Cabrera, eat Coors chalk. Luzardo, Bybee, eat Coors chalk. Luzardo, Ober, eat Coors chalk. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. All 5, their pitch counts are fine. In terms of K props on the slate, Skubal obviously leads it, 8.5, a number you don't see often. -140 on the under, though. Luzardo number 2, 6.5, -125 on the over. Then we have Cabrera coming in third, 5.5, -125 on the under. Bybee, 5.5, -130 on the under. Senga, 4.5, -160 on the over. Ober, 5.5, -160 on the under. The one guy I debated was Erod. The reason is the Rockies are going to be so chalky. The K prop for Erod's fine. Here, let me pull him back up. Give me a sec. Hard for me to multitask. I can't. All right, here we go. Give me a sec. The reason for that, K pitch count, fine at 87. You get some of the most direct leverage off of one of the chalkiest teams. I actually prefer Erod to Lord for all these reasons. If Erod is optimal, the Rockies almost surely aren't optimal. A lot of the field goes that way. And a 4.5 K prop with a little juice on the over isn't bad. So instead of going this the Lord, I include Erod. Do I love any of it? I mean, yeah, I can play Erod, 5 D-backs and stack the top of the order and go Skubal. And I'm totally fine with that. At the end of the day, Cabrera, Bybee, Ober, yeah, you're giving up at most like 4.5 DraftKings points in projection, which is a decent amount, but it's baseball. I mean, how many random times have we seen Skubal get you like 2 points, Yamamoto get you 2 points, all of that. So I actually think Erod is interesting, and I would leave him in the pool because I can then jam chalk around it and I get leverage. But how do I rank it? Luzardo 1, Skubal 2, Cabrera 3, Bybee 4. But these now it's 6 of these guys would be in my pool. Anything you want to add at pitching? Obviously, it's a short slate. I always say short slates, let SaberSim even have more control because the less games and the more ownership is condensed, the more ownership matters. And the more the contest you're playing in matters. Not the number of people, how much percent to first place, the min cash percent, all that. SaberSim and their Sims and their Saber score takes all of that into account. And again, it like 12 games slate when there's so much ownership, it's very easy to be like, I like this team, this team, this team, this team the most. It's so easy to manually go to team stacks, 5-man stacks, and just be like, all right, I want to go 20%, 20%, 20, 20. And like on average, they're all going to be 10%, and you can just get overweight that way. I like SaberSim taking over more so the smaller the slates for all the reasons I said. Anything you want to mention in terms of pitching?
Yeah, I mean, I just think really when you're looking at exactly how you want to build your team, just realize like you got to realize like people are going to want to make that decision. They're going to get the top end of these Arizona bats by paying down at pitching. So you're going to see in the smaller field contest way higher ownership on Coors Field bats than you will in the larger field contest. So I think you got to kind of just know where you're at today a little bit more than any other day, just because of how chalky there are going to be something like when we're on slates that don't seem to have heavy chalk as we do today. I think I think you don't have to be as critical with your contest selection as you do on a day like today when it's more chalky, depending on how big of a contest you're in. So like, I'm in that in the Grand Slam. That's generally where I like to play on FanDuel, the $50 one. I usually put 2 or 3 in. I literally am probably going to have 2 teams with Arizona stacks, and then the other team, I'm going to probably try to do completely different, and probably not. I won't have any Arizona, and nor will I probably have Skubal. So I think that would make me different by just constructing my team that way, with that strategy going in. So I'm not just going to blindly make teams. I already know going in, this is what I want to do. I'll take a risk here, kind of cover myself here with some. Maybe in my 2 Arizona stacks, I might have 1, 2, 3, 4, but the second one, I might go down to Blaze, Alexander or somebody, somebody like that, 6 or 7 holes. So, but yeah, I think today it's an interesting slate. I mean, we got one high-end pitcher, we got a few guys, but the high-end pitching really hasn't been paying off. But there are a couple guys that just Wheeler and Scuball are the only two that seem like more times than not, 4 out of 5 times they start, they're going to get you the 40 or the high end 30 some points, 50 points you need, like on FanDuel or whatever, to get the job done. So those are the only two I kind of trust at this point, really. And it's like I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, dude, I just keep thinking about those numbers everybody's been putting up against this bad Colorado team here recent times too. Like, especially in Colorado, like they're putting up 20 spots. Like, I mean, it's like, man, if they put up even half of that, I mean, we've been seeing it too. We've been talking about it. North of touchdowns, 10 run plus games. I mean, they've been happening. So, I think paying down at pitching, I think that's why I like Luzardo and Cabrera would be my favorite two of the in the whole thing. I would just leave Scuball out of it. I think that makes you different right then.
Yeah, I think it probably goes Luzardo the highest owned, then Scuball because of the price difference, but I think it's pretty clearly those two is the chalkiest. And we have, let's see if the Stone's updated. We actually have every single lineup except the Twins. So yeah, Detroit just came out, the Braves and Philly, but again, looking at the hitters, 1 through 4 is expensive on the D-backs. 5 through 9 is not, which is why I'm saying you can go Scuball, Luzardo. As long as you're mixing in the bottom of the order, you can get 5 D-backs. It's even easier to get the Rockies. Outside of Goodman, this team's completely free with the second highest run total on the slate. And a lot of the reason their ownership is so high is because of the pricing and allows you to get stud pitchers. And that makes me like Erod. And then I look at this pitcher ranking and it makes me like him even more. So yeah, I think Erod's very interesting. And even in 3 teams, I think I could get to 1 Erod. You're way over the field. And then I'm fine playing the D-backs with them. Imagine how dangerously contrarian fading the Snakes would be in 5-man Phillies. Yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, Phillies have a very healthy run total themselves. I don't know if you saw this, Gyiraszin, because the Brewers won 12 straight. George Webb's is giving away free burger for everyone for anyone that actually goes to George Webb's. So a lot of people are excited about that.
You know what, man? I always laugh at my friends that say, dude, I went to Arby's and got free fries because the Tigers hit 2 home runs. And I'm like, I could understand if there's no line, but if you were like waiting in line with a shitload of people to get a free freaking hamburger, you need to I'll give you the $5, go down and buy you one somewhere else. Like,
there you go. Yeah,
I guess people just like free shit. Now, like, I guess, if somebody hands me I won't even wait for free weed, dude. Like, there ain't no fucking way. I've been to the dispensary I go to. I tell them, I ain't waiting around for this shit. So you know what I do? They give me a shirt that's for the store, and I walk in the front, and I'm like, I'm here, and they let me in the back.
Yeah, that's when you know you've been there a time or two. The regular, get the employee shirt. I love it.
Yeah, you bring them donuts, and they give you a shirt. That's all you got to do, Shit.
It's a good trade-off. Absolutely good trade-off. All right, let's talk some bats. Before I do, we talked a lot of NFL. Hoop did extend the early bird special in terms of the ballots. You still can get 5 ballots with this NFL package. $349. It was going up on Wednesday to $449. Next Wednesday is the day that it goes up. What do you get with the NFL package? Of course, you get all the NFL content, which is here before you know it. College football, which I believe starts like next Saturday. Don't quote me on that exact date, but I know it starts early. I'm almost positive it's next Saturday. And shout out to the college football team. If you haven't given college football a try, it is a new sport, a lot of random stuff, and you have to dig stuff up, which our team does a great job at. You have to be in the Discord, but prizes are good. A lot of edge in it. My buddies back home fell in love with college football. They didn't know anything about it, literally jack shit about college football. Followed our content, had a lot of success. The Superflex adds a whole new dimension. That is free with the NFL package. Again, most sites do charge for that. You get 5 ballots into what is now $78,000 plus at the for the Ship It Games. Shout out to Sheets, who is putting up 5%. He has 2 entries in the FanDuel Live Final. He's putting up 5%. Whatever he takes, that will go to the Ship It Games. And this number can keep rising. And hopefully it does throughout the year with 50% of each week. Someone does a 333 ticket with Tambo and the Wildcat. 50% of those winnings will continue to go to this. First place right now, $20,000, and a yearly annual member, Again, we didn't have to do any of this. We Ship a Nation ourselves. We put up $50,000 into this, wanted to give back to the people, show appreciation, and wanted a little fun and new thing that people aren't doing. It's a very, there's a lot that goes into it. You can click this link and it breaks it all down. Tambo Hoop also did a 22-minute video they just put out today, breaking down everything in depth. It's very clear. So if you want to check that on YouTube, you can put it on 2x speed, watch it in about 10 minutes. Otherwise, you can click these cash prizes, takes you to Ship It Games website and breaks that all down. But $78,000 plus given away throughout the NFL year with college football, with NFL. Also, whenever you sign up, if it's right now, you get all access to the start of the year. We'd love to have you. Again, that $349 some people are paying, that will be, some people are going to make a lot more money on that. The football package will be free. Money will be in the pocket from the Ship It Games. Anyone that is an annual member, a monthly all access member, does get those 5 ballots to start the year, and you keep accumulating them as the year goes on, week 1, 2, 3, etc. We'd love to have you. ShipItNation.com. Let's talk some baseball, Gyiraszin. Guardians, Marlins, we're talking bats. Neither of these two teams are going to get much ownership at all. The pitchers definitely will get some on both sides. Over-under of 7.5, which is tied for the lowest on the slate. -125 favorites are the Guardians. I'm playing both pitchers. I will say, if I had to pick a side, I think I prefer Guardian side, and I want the lefties. And guess what the Guardians did? Lefty, 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 lefty. 6 lefties in this order. Manzarado has been absolutely on fire. Jose Ramirez, always one of the better DFS players out there. You can play Scooball. Anyone, you can go Scooball, Bybee, or Scooball, Luzardo, 5-man Guardians, 3-man D-backs, or Rockies, or whatever you want to do. I don't hate some of these lefties, and I love how they stacked it up. However, I lean Cabrera side more than Guardians. These two teams fall down the list in terms of bats, but when looking at ownership and what they do with their lineup, I think the Guardians are fine. What about you?
Yeah, the Guardians are fine. Our Indians, Guardians, they're Indians. But either way, they're all right. They're just cheap bats I would use if you wanted Arizona. There's no other reason other than that to go there. Matter of fact, I think I'd rather go with Miami, to tell you the truth, because Stowers is that dude's a pimp. I think, they put up a bunch of runs yesterday. Obviously, they were on the FanDuel slate. They weren't on the DraftKings slate yesterday. But, Bybee isn't really anything that special. He gives up a higher fly ball rate, 31% to lefties. So, like I said, Stowers sitting in there at 2-hole looks pretty good. 26.5% fly ball rate to the righties. His barrel percentage is at almost 10% to left side, too. So, even Marcy yesterday who come in, they got some guys that are pretty cheap bats. I wouldn't cross out Miami at all if you're looking for some cheap bats, even though you'll pay up for Stowers a little bit. But I don't mind them. It's definitely going to be – on a slate like today, literally there's going to be a handful of teams that probably nobody's going to play. And I wouldn't doubt, Title, if one of those teams end up being the winner, like the Phillies or the Marlins or, teams that nobody's going to really probably go to today that won't be heavily owned. It's just usually the nature of the beast. But I definitely wouldn't cross off the Marlins today. I think they're interesting. They've been playing a lot better here in recent times, too, and actually been hitting the ball.
Yeah, so Marlins, Guardians, Nats, Braves, Twins. Those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Those are the 5 teams no one's going to play. How would you – who would be your top 2? Mine would be Guardians, number 1. And I guess maybe you talked me into the Marlins. They got enough lefties as well. You want lefties on both sides? I
think I would rather have Marlins, and then I would probably look at – you can't go Twins because Scooball doesn't really get beat up. That's really tough. And, Luzardo doesn't generally get beat up either, so it kind of takes
You're going to say
Braves.
You didn't like Senga, so you're going to say Braves.
That's where I was getting at. I think I would probably rank them Miami, Indians, Braves, and then I would probably have Nats and then the Twins.
All right. Yeah, I got Guardians. I'll go Guardians, Braves is my 2 favorite that no one's going to play. But I don't think, if I had to guess, none of those 5-mans will be on the winner. If they are, it's a very good chance. You know what I mean? The gap from first and second could be wider. But playing the Phillies, playing the Mets, like I think you can get different enough that way. Playing Erod, not playing Skubal and Luzardo together. I'd rather get different at some other spots. Play some of these other pitchers, Ibis, Cabreras, again, Erods of the world, even Senga. I'd rather go Senga than I would 5-man those other teams. So I don't think we have to get crazy. But yeah, I actually like the Guardians a little bit, and I like the lefties. What's up, Robert Davis? Great to see you. Michael W., how long are you in Wisconsin? I actually fly out to Greece tomorrow, so less than 24 hours, and I am out of here for a couple weeks.
Big shooter. You always say I got it good. Listen to this guy over here.
Late honeymoon. Last year, I got married August 31st, and yeah, what happens after August 31st, Gyiraszin? It's football season. You can't go on a 2-week extravaganza.
You got a good woman if she let you get away with that, buddy.
Yeah, I do have a great woman. You're right, and she knows the drill. Football's coming up. She knows how it is. So, yep. If I'm already a premium subscriber, do I have to do anything? If you are a monthly all access or an monthly all access or an annual member, you do not have to. Or you're an NFL early bird, you do not have to. If you are like on a weekly package or like a PGA only, then yeah, those are not qualified for the 5 balls. So monthly all access, annual, or NFL early bird special. I am living large. Very blessed over here, no doubt about that. Thank you. Yeah, been a year. Crazy. Life is crazy. All right, next game on the slate. Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies, 8.5 total. -199 favorites are the Phillies. I mean, how many Phillies? Again, 5.43 runs, which is very good. Their ownership, they're going to get some, of course. It's a 5-game slate, but clearly less than the Rockies and the D-backs. How do you compare them to the Tigers, to the Mets? And yeah, like how much five-man stacks would you have of these guys?
I actually like Lord a little bit more than you did. I mean, Lord does have an issue with some power against lefties. We know Philly has some power at the left side. But, I mean, he does strike out lefties at a 25% clip. He's 10% lower, almost 9% lower out to the right side at a 15% clip. But, I mean, he's pretty much a ground ball type pitcher. So that does worry me a little bit. I generally don't like stacking up against fly ball or ground ball type pitchers. And, Schwarber does have a fly ball lean, almost 36%. Harper, 31%. Marsh is at 26%. So the lefties all do hit some fly balls here. But, then you go back and you think, okay, well, he's got a 25% K rate against lefties. Schwarber, 27%, Harper, 20%, Marsh, 22, pretty much the average, and Stott's at 16.6. So really the only lefty there is Schwarber, who's over, but he's got a 4-1 WOBA against righties. So, I mean, I think it's like a scenario like you can teeter either way. You like him because you think maybe he could strike some of them lefties out and he keeps the ball on the ground. And then again, you're thinking, well, he does give up some power to some lefties. They do have some lefty power. So, like, if I'm MMEing, I probably would play Lord in some, and then I would probably have some full Philly stacks in some. But I think the Phillies are definitely interesting. They're one of the better teams overall, 1 through 9, all the way down the lineup that we talk about. We want that lineup to turn over. We want that 8 at-bat inning, that, 9, flip a lineup one time. So, I mean, that gets us extra at-bats. But, I mean, I just – sitting here looking at Phillies run total, 5.43 it says up there. Mets are 5.49. I mean, we got that 7 total over there in Coors. I mean, I think Phillies in play, and I don't think they're going to get as much ownership as the Mets, actually. So with that being said, I don't mind the Phillies. I'd have them ranked up a little higher, even though I do like Lord a little bit. I feel like Lord's like JT Ginn yesterday. He got me 0. I still cashed. But either way, so I just feel like that's the case, because if I play Lord on FanDuel, let's just say, in one of my 3 teams, I mean, I can load up and jam some serious power bats. I can throw in, 4 of the top D-backs. I can throw in a Rocky or 2 and then throw in some other power bats if I want. I mean, I could just load it up. I could load it up with some Mets if I want. So, that's what I'm kind of looking at. And if any of those teams go off, I mean, I don't even care if I get 20 or 15 from my pitcher. But I think the Phillies are really interesting today. I mean, they're a -218 favorite, as you see. The National bullpen sucks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at.
It just
one of the worst in baseball.
Right. I mean, you look at the slate. as far as bullpens go, we know the Angel bullpen stinks. They're not on a slate. We know that the Nats bullpen stinks. Colorado's bullpen stinks. The A's bullpen,
Marlins,
and Arizona stinks too. So
a lot of bad bullpens.
Right. I mean, I think that Arizona game, obviously is going to get a lot of ownership, but I don't think the Phillies are going to get as much ownership when you start talking it out, thinking about what kind of is on their side. And that bullpen is horrible.
Yeah, I like the Phillies. Like outside of Coors, Phillies are my favorite. A lot of it has to do with the bullpen. Guaranteed ninth inning at bats. We're like another team that's very similar to the Mets. They don't have that. And man, that bottom of the order, like you said, like when you can flip it 1 through 9, and when I can play a Bryson Stott at second base, a Sosa at third base, like some of my least favorites, Kepler, Marsh, they're fine, but the coveted outfield position can play the 1Z Trey Turner, Real Muto at catcher, too cheap. Though it fills out really nicely on DraftKings, an awful bullpen. Yeah, I mean, Brad Lord's by no means great. He keeps the ball on the ground. That's the one like little concern going against him. But you mentioned like these fly ball rates for the Phillies. They get the ball in the air. Schwarber, Harper, Casty, Marsh, Stott, like they do get the ball in the air. It's really nice across the country everywhere. So there's no like big weather gap to talk about. Balls will be flying throughout. I like the Phillies. Good with them 1 through 9. They're my third favorite stack on the slate and my favorite when not talking Coors. The Nats, they would be Twins and Nats. I mean, yeah, it's
I got a question for you. Title is Bryce Harper a Hall of Famer right now if he retired?
I mean, Barry Bonds isn't a Hall of Famer.
Correct.
The Hall of Fame in baseball.
DraftKings Twitter tweeted out, "Oh,
no, he's not.
Should be a Hall of Famer," and I said, "He don't have the stats yet. Go look at Dale Murphy. He had 2 MVPs and has 398 homers, and he's not in the Hall of Fame." So,
was he played in 1932?
Listen, homie.
No, I would say no.
He played when I was a kid, so I mean, he's
1945.
80s,
all right.
He won a couple MVPs though.
Yeah,
that was before the Braves were even good. Like that's before Maddox and Glavine and all that even came about. So
Dale Murphy.
Yeah,
no, I would say no. I mean, but yeah, like he could easily play another
Albert Bell's not a Hall of Famer either. But either is Barry Bonds, and they're not serious until Barry Bonds gets in there.
Yeah, I agree. Who was the second guy you said, or the one before Barry?
Albert Bell. He used to be on the Indians when they were good, winning back in the day. They had a hell of a team back then.
Throwing a screwball and drinking some screwball.
Oh yeah, I was 1945. Shit. Hey, you never know. I was close to that. 27 years later, I came about. 72.
That's funny. Yeah, I was gonna say I know my grandparents are 42, and you're a little younger than them, so that's funny though. All right, let's keep it rolling. Mets and the Braves. We're looking at a 8.5 total, -181 favorites. Are the Mets? So we talked about. I mean, this game absolutely nuked yesterday. You said you're on the Mets. The Braves got the job done. Michael Harris. Ozuna. I mean, this team's been finally coming around a little bit.
6-0 too.
I know. And next thing you know, it was like 11-6. I mean,
yeah, turned into a softball game real quick.
Yeah. This is a very good point by Jake. And you didn't already like Senga. So tax bullpen, guaranteed ninth inning at bats for the Braves. I mean, the prices outside of Olsen are completely free. I mean, can you make a case for some of these Braves? Is it just mini stacks? Like, how many teams would it take you to get a 5-man? But you didn't like Senga anyway. You said X him out right away. So you have to have some interest in the Braves. And the Mets seem really, really similar to the Phillies. I personally prefer the Phillies, but yeah, the Mets are still a pivot off of the D-backs in Coors Field. If you play them, especially like 1 through 4, you will have to go to the Bybee or somewhere cheaper, fade Screwball. But I have no problems doing that today. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the Braves? Start with them, and then are you going to play – how does the Mets rank amongst the other ones?
Well, I mean, if the Braves can be patient enough and wait for Senga, I mean, Senga's got some walk issues. I mean, he's got a 14% walk rate to lefties, 9% to righties. I mean, that's not – you generally just don't see that, especially both sides of the plate. So, I mean – he starts walking a few guys. I mean, Senga's another guy who's got a heavy ground ball. I mean, he's 53% to the left side, 43% to right side. But he does get barreled up by lefties. So like a guy like Michael Harris, he smoked one to center field yesterday. I was actually watching the game. Profar, they're going to see some lefties up there at the top of that lineup. The top 5 out of 6 hitters they're going to see are going to be lefties, except Ozuna. So, if Senga starts walking guys, it could get out of control for him real quick, just like it did yesterday, man. They were putting guys on. The inning before when they blew up, they had the bases loaded and got lucky and got out of it in that game. So that game could have started getting ugly earlier. But, you get a pitcher start walking dudes. It only takes one good swing and a 3-run bomb. And next thing you know, yeah. So, I don't mind it. You're right. Nobody's going to play him. I don't have them in my top, but you know what? If you're going to play a handful of teams, you might be talking me into playing some Braves anyway now on one of my 3 teams, because you're right. Nobody's going to play him. And if Senga gets beat up, we're talking about their bullpen. I was just going to look yesterday and see how many pitchers were used on both sides of that game, because it was quite a few because I was watching. So, yeah,
they look when you're talking.
They used 3 pitchers with the Mets yesterday, but Blackburn went the last 5 innings. And then
smart for the Mets.
Yeah, and then but the Atlanta used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relievers after Carrasco yesterday, and then they DFA'd his ass. They got rid of him,
as they should. Why is Cookie Carrasco pitching in 2025? Yeah,
horrible. So
born in 42, Brandon. That'd be something.
Your grandparents are 42. That's probably true. I'm older. I'd probably be his damn grandpa. I'm 53. But
Gyiraszin's your oldest is still younger than me.
My oldest, yep, you're right.
Isn't she going to be a sophomore in college or junior now?
No, she's actually going to be a senior.
Wow, time really does fly. I remember talking to you like it was
23. She'll be 23.
This was a couple years back at the other party when she was going to be wow. All right, keep going.
Time flies, man. That's one thing with kids, man. Next thing you know, it's like, boom, they're old. It's like, whew, what happened?
Yeah.
But either way, I think the Braves are interesting. Hey, we got on these short slates, we always talk about like trying to find maybe the 1 or 2 teams that nobody's going to play. I think the Braves are in the discussion here, especially if Senga starts walking some guys. But, it isn't something that we would want to normally do, be attacking Senga. But, hey, if he starts getting in trouble and he starts walking some of them lefties, you never know what could happen.
Yeah. What about the Mets? How do they rank on this slate?
I think the Mets actually rank out to me as probably my second favorite. I'll put them tied with the Rockies, to tell you, for me. The reason being the Rockies are higher because they're cheaper. But to me, the Mets are in a really good spot here. The Mets yesterday got the job done. Bryce Elder is not really that good. He's just low K percentages to both sides of the plate, pretty much 18% to both sides. He's another dude that walks a bunch of lefties. He's at 11.5% walk rate to the lefties. He gets barreled up at 9%, almost 9% to the right side too. So, he's another guy that has some ground ball lean as well. But like we were kind of talking a little bit yesterday. These Mets got all kinds of fly balls. Their first 7 hitters are all 26% or higher on fly ball percentages. So I don't mind it at all. I'm not afraid of his Elder's ground ball lean at all. And then 2, that Atlanta bullpen isn't the greatest. It's not like we got a fear for it or anything. But I think the Mets are in a really good spot. Especially at home, you can get a couple of them guys pretty cheap here at the bottom of that lineup too. You get a guy like Cedric Mullins, who's not bad. Brett Beatty's not, bad if you want to turn him over. McNeil's got a little bit of pop in his bat. But Lindor, Soto, Nimmo, and Alonso are all in really good spots today. I don't really like the bottom of that Mets lineup as much as like a Phillies lineup. But I still think the Mets, for me, I would have them ranked higher than the Phillies, and I'd have them tied with the Rockies as far as being in the top 3.
It's been really bad for Elder. Just talking DraftKings points, his last couple starts, 4. He had a 16-piece, -10, 4, 22, 8, -16, 2, -1. Those are a lot of negatives and really low numbers. Occasionally, he gets the job done, but let's see. Who do you get the job done? Texas and the A's. two teams that aren't in the same category as the Mets. Yeah, I think the Mets are. What about, Mets or Phillies? Now I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm like, man, I think Elder is worse than I think probably Brad Lord is. The bullpen's worse for the Nats, and I get guaranteed ninth inning at bats for the Phillies. And I like the 7, 8, 9 more than I like 7, 8, 9 on the Mets. So I'm still leaning Phillies, I think, but it's close for me. Do you have a lean?
I mean, the last 2 weeks too, if we're discussing, like trying to figure out, I mean, I look at who's been hotter in the last couple of weeks. The Mets have been a little bit, the Mets are 6 in OPS in the last 15 days. And
what are the Phillies way down there? Didn't they get swept by the Reds?
Who?
The Phillies.
And the Phillies are 17th, right now. So they're like just above middle of the packs. But I mean, the Mets are in the top 10. They're in the 6th. So, with that just being said, I generally like to play, teams that are hitting better at that certain time than I mean, it's an up and down game, I like to pin that. Somebody made a comment one day, why are you looking at game logs on the thing? Well, dude, we want to see what's going on here in recent times. And especially on DK, I like to look at the pitch count. I think that's really helps me because it's right there. It's right in the line. I can see how many pitches, because if I'm trying to decide for some pitchers, sometimes I don't want to get caught in my pants down and be like, dude, this guy's going to go 80 pitches when I could have played the dude going 105. So, I mean, it's just all, everything combined into it. But I'd rather play the hotter team, which is the Mets.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Gyirasin's Detroit Tigers taking on the Minnesota Twins. 7.5 total, -207 favorites are the Tigers. We're not playing the Twins. Again, this is the one weather concern. Make sure, be on the lookout with what Ross says. He made an update, but he said an update to tell you that there is no update. For now, decent chance of delay, postpone, or incomplete game possible, but not too likely. Oh, that changes things. Obviously, we don't know right now, but if Scooball leaves consideration, all that does on this slate is it makes Luzardo even more mega chalk. It makes the Cabreras, the Bibees, the Singas chalky. And then it brings D-backs ownership way up, Rockies ownership way up. But it also obviously brings the Mets and the Phillies because salary means less. So it's easier to go Trey, Schwarber, Harper. I should say it brings the top of the order of the Phillies and the Mets, the expensive bats, up a lot more than it does the bottom of the order. Honestly, it might even lower the bottom of the order. So, that's tough. We're going to have to – this game's at 7:40 Eastern. Slate locks at 6:40. 3 games go off before. It's going to be tricky. I think it's going to come down to, from how Ross talking, I don't think we're really going to have a good idea by the slate locks about the delay possibility. I don't know. Anything I just say.
Division game too, so don't forget about that. So division games, man, they're quick to cancel those.
Yeah, Minnesota, Detroit bordering. It's easy to get that doubleheader in. Again, he doesn't think it's more concern for a delay. It sounds like than he did say postpone. I don't know. Let's just pretend the game goes. But yeah, when we get off the show, I'm going to be monitoring this game all the way up. And me monitoring what Ross says. If anyone knows any weather people in here, yeah, let me know. The more the merrier, but I'm definitely no meteorologist. Let's pretend it goes, though. What would you do with the Tigers?
I don't mind the Tigers. Ober gets beat up by lefties. He's got almost a 37% fly ball rate to lefties, 9% barrel rate. His K percentage to lefties is only at 15%. You don't want to be doing that. It's going to go up a little bit today because Riley Green will strike out 2 or 3 times. He's literally on track to set the record for strikeouts by quite a few too. It's just stupid. But either way, I do like the lefties. Keith's got power. Carpenter, Green, McKinstry. Obviously, the Tigers are quick to pull out Carpenter too if they bring in a lefty to at some point in time. But yeah, we'll see if this game plays. I don't think the Tigers would, even if it was going to play, would even be that highly owned here today. But, when you're looking at some of these stacks, for the D-backs, if you wanted to play a top guy, instead of maybe Corbin Carroll, maybe you stack 4 D-backs and swap out Soto for Corbin Carroll. you can do stuff like that on shorter slates because you're not losing too much of your upside when you do that either. I mean, you're just kind of swapping one big bat for another big bat. Yeah, you're not going to get the correlation of that lineup, but still, I think if he's the only one that does anything, and the rest of the D-backs, and you kind of swap out Carroll, he goes 1 for 4 with a single, or 1 for 5 with a single, and you swap up for Soto, you're going to beat all them D-back stacks. So, I mean, that's something too, if you want to get a little bit different, if you're using a chalkier stack, like a lot of times, like if it's Ohtani or Judge, I'll swap out one of the other guys. I mean, it's just a strategy thing. If you wanted to consider that, I was just sitting there thinking, like, hey, if we're going to get different now with the Tiger game being canceled and a lot more ownership going to the D-backs, I think that's a way to kind of be different is, maybe throw in a Schwarber instead of, you could do that, or, somebody like that, another high-end bat. I wouldn't throw in bottom, do that with a guy that I don't think has any upside, like, a guy from 4 down in a lineup, because generally, they're hitting 5th, 6th, 7th for a reason. Like, I think, like a big bat, I think I'm willing to do that with, like swap out in a stack and build my team in a stack and just swap one of the guys out, like for another big bat. I don't think that's a bad thing to do.
I've seen shout out SaberSim in contest flashback, which is another perk of having SaberSim, being able to follow and reverse engineer the best people in their lineups. Rio, obviously one of the best, just shipped a couple days ago with the Brewers. He's been running a lot more 4-3-1s than I've expected. So what Gyirazin's saying, if you build a 5-3 and go Carroll and like 5 D-backs and you take out Carroll and go Soto, that's a 4-3-1. I've seen Rio do it on plenty of big slates, which is something to know. It's something I haven't really done often. Seen some pros jamming 5-1-1-1 more than I really do. So yeah, it's always interesting seeing. DFS isn't solved by any means. It's getting closer. Well, it's never going to be solved. It's definitely a lot closer than it was 2 years ago, which 2 years ago is a lot closer than it was 5 years ago.
I wish we could go back 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
So does everyone. So does everyone. No doubt about that. But it's not possible, Gyiraszin.
Well, I didn't work for like 4 years, so I guess I can't complain.
Yeah, there you go. Now, now you're selling robots. Pretty cool. Pretty cool industry. Right?
Yeah, sell robots anybody out there who's in a manufacturing plant want me to fix your robots, get you new ones, you just let me know. I'll hook you up.
There you go. There you go. He might even
I might even give you a free membership to ship it too if you're my customer. How about that?
There you go. Hey, that's a good point, Ross. Only one lefty in the Twins bullpen. Good info right there. What's up, Yeezy? Great to see you. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Last game of the night. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button is all we ask for. But if you do want to join us at the Nation, no better deal. We do have monthly, weekly options. Annual is the best deal. However, right now, if you know you're going to be on board for NFL, get college football, you get NFL content, you get SaberSim, the best optimizer around. You also get free NFL or free all access. If you sign up right now, you get MLB, MMA, PGA, NASCAR, everything up until the NFL season. Over $500 in savings. Get the Discord as well. The best Discord around. Great community. A lot of familiar faces in the YouTube chat, in the Discord as well. We would love to have you at the Nation. And you get 5 bonus ballots to the Ship It games, which can't wait for that. Starting week 1 of the NFL. A couple people are going to be very, very happy campers when it's all said and done. Week 1 of the NFL playoffs. And again, if you want more info to that, you can click this link. It takes you to another link, Ship It Games, and it breaks everything down. Or on our YouTube channel, Hoop and Tambo just did a 22-minute video breaking it down, explaining it even better for anyone that has questions still out there.
And I got to believe week 1 right after, dude, that's got to be real close to Christmas.
Week 1 of what?
And up the playoffs, like right when the prize get out, it's got to be literally like right there.
Yeah, a little bit after playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So literally, it's going to be like Christmas time, and somebody's going to win that money. It'd be awesome. Like what a time to win some cash like that.
Yeah, literally, they'll spend whether they're spending it on themselves, their family, whatever, money for Christmas, and then they'll get a whole lot of money and stuff in return. So yeah, if you take top 50, you will definitely be happy, and the higher you place, the better. But all right, last game, Gyiraszin, Coors Field, 12.5 total. D-backs minus 176 favorites. So again, if this Tigers-Twins game goes, even more ownership goes to the D-backs. The reason for that, you wouldn't have Skubal to pay up for. Like if you go Cabrera, Bybee, Luzardo, Bybee, whatever it is, it'd be so easy to get all of them. To be honest, I'm less inclined to play the D-backs if we do lose Skubal and that ability, because I think they become over-owned. And I do think some Rockies ownership would go down a bit. They'll still be probably the second chalkiest. But again, why the Rockies are getting jammed so hard, obviously their run total is great. However, it's just the pricing. Like it allows you to get Skubal, Luzardo, the top two pitchers, and five-man them. I think the Mets, the D-backs, or the top of the Mets, the top of the Phillies, and the D-backs, if we lose this game, all get steamed heavier. The Rockies maybe go down a bit. They still get ownership. D-backs ownership goes up. Do you have any thoughts on that? And then just in a vacuum, like how much do you like the D-backs? How much do you like the Rockies? Who are some of your favorites?
I mean, I like both sides of this game to be true. I mean, probably one of my teams will have a game stack of this is probably the way it's going to end up working out. And then whatever pitcher I can fit in there, that's just whoever I'll play. I'll be happy with that. And then if this game nukes, then, just sit back and watch. But, I mean, the top of the lineup on both are going to get some ownership. I mean, the D-backs, I think Blaze Alexander is going to be the popular wraparound guy that everybody's going to end up wanting to use in that 8-hole coming back around. I mean, I don't think you're going to like somebody like Thomas and Herrera down there probably, and Castillo probably won't be as owned. I think Locklear will get a little ownership. But I mean, I think of those three, if you include one of them three in your stacks, I think you'll be a little bit different because I think those will be the three lowest owned of them. But I do like the Rockies. They're cheap. They got a 5.6 run total. I was just trying to look up real quick, and it's not coming up, but I was trying to see like the highest total of the season, because that 12.5 total, you don't generally see them that high, like 13, 12. Like I was trying to see if this was it, and I couldn't determine. But I mean, that's pretty high total, man. That's really high. I mean, we know too. I mean, both bullpens stink, man. Like both of them are in the worst bottom six of baseball too. So that's why I kind of like some game stack here. I think, you know what, Title? I mean, we were talking a little bit about, having some different teams earlier, different ways. And I think really I might just end up game stacking two of them, two games in Coors, and then just totally get different and leave Skubal off and maybe jam in a couple other teams in a non-Coors stack. But yeah, I mean, this one here is so obvious. I mean, it's just one of those situations where, I mean, Shea almost got a 7-run total and a 5.5 run total. I mean, it's kind of speaks for itself. I mean, and the Rockies, I'm so like, what are you more afraid of fading? The D-backs bats against which we've seen a Rocky team give up just bleeding runs like crazy, or are you afraid of a Skubal who might put up, 12 Ks tonight?
I think I'd rather the D-backs.
Me too, especially with some of the weather. And I think most people are going to think that now with the weather. I think really kind of took some of the ownership away from Skubal. I think them D-backs are going to be, we could see some of these D-backs 50% plus owned in smaller field contests, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I like the D-backs less. Again, if Skubal, like if people are scared off and Ross says no. The problem is, even if you can play it, like Locklear will be mega chalk. Someone just said it in chat. Yeah, like I like building D-back stacks without him. Yeah, again, not all of them. I wouldn't exclude them, but it's like 3,600 in the 6-hole at first base, cash staple, and everyone's going to play him that way. Marte's been super hot. Yeah, number one in our hitter rankings. Just absolutely owned Texas in the 9th inning this past series. Like, yeah, guaranteed 9th inning at bats, good hitting weather, awful bullpen, bad starter. It all lines up for the D-backs. However, ownership's a thing. If I knew they were going to be 50% owned, yeah, no, it's baseball. At the end of the day, the best hitters can go for 4 any single day. No one's surprised. So if we lose that Tigers game, I think I'm more inclined to play Rockies, Phillies, Mets at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, D-backs are in a phenomenal spot. And I like the idea. I like the idea of playing Erod with the D-backs. If I'm playing them, like you mentioned, Brad Lord, Erod would be my guy. And then again, you get a lot of direct leverage off a chalky Rockies team. But I'm going to rely a lot on SaberSim. I won't narrow down my stacks as much as usual. Interesting stat, Josh. Also, like I wonder what the percent would be that people play 5-2-1s on average. You know what I'm saying? Like in the flagship, is it like 28% on average are building it? Is it 42%? I don't think it's that high, but that number would mean a lot as well. If 95% of people are playing 5-2-1s, this 35% number would be very low. Obviously, if it's 15, whatever it is, like I want more context to this number, but I still do believe 5-2-1s are probably the best way to play baseball when it's all said and done. Not necessarily on this slate, though. 5 games, could even be 4 games. You can open it up a lot more. You can play a hitter against your pitcher. You can do some crazy things the larger the field in your tournaments. Appreciate it, Michael. I got really nothing more to add. An hour talking 5 games, Gyiraszin. Always a pleasure. You, Hoop, Nades, Ham, hold down the fort for me when I'm gone. Next thing you know.
We got it. We got you covered. You go out there and grease it up a little bit. Have some fun.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you come home in one piece. Get your butt back here across the pond in one piece.
Yeah, that's the goal. I'll be back tonight, though. We have one more show tonight. Shows? It's MMA season, baby. UFC 319. It's going to be a great card. Big Marley and I will go live at 9 Eastern talking some fights. Final thoughts, Gyiraszin?
No, just another day at some baseball. I got to love it. But like I said, make sure we'll miss you next week. Everybody can fill in. If Hoop comes on here with me, we'll have to Hoop. I mean, we got the big Ship It event coming up. Everybody, Hoop title's going to be gone, and everybody from Ship It's coming to Michigan, Hoop and I's backyard, and we're going to go to that live event, have a good time, have some drinks, have some fun. Well, I'll probably enjoy some safety meetings and all that good stuff. I wish you could come hang with us, but I don't blame you going to Greece. But man, always fun. And make sure everybody, don't forget, man, these golden games, tell somebody, nobody does what we're doing. This is incredible. Like, just to be a part of a community, we're all going to be rooting for each other with the 3-3-3 thing. Like, you're going to want to be a part of this when football comes. So, don't miss out. I think, and hey, if you got a buddy or two, like, get your buddy in and shit, you two can split it. Like, combine your entries. Now you got, even more opportunities. But, yeah, I think what we got going is Ship It's awesome. I can't wait for some football. I don't want to wish my summer away, but I can't wait for week 1 of NFL football. As I already told you, that's when my vacation is. I'm going to be sitting on Key West down in Florida enjoying some week 1 NFL. And hopefully I come back with a DK seat. That'd be pretty sweet. But, yeah. So, hey, I got to do the slate plan. And I know you got to get ready for another show. But, hey, appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us. Always fun.
Absolutely. You will be on with Hoopster next Wednesday, so you can mark that on your calendar. Have some fun. And anyone that is out in Detroit in the area, everyone's invited. I think Saturday night, Tambo will mention something, but there's going to be a night just like for those that met up with us in Arizona. We would love for the members to come out. Obviously, I won't be there, but that does not – plenty of the team will be there. Most of the guys, if you're out there in the Detroit area, you want to meet up with the guys, be on the lookout in the Discord. It'll be Saturday night, I believe, is the plan for that. So that'll be it for us. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on the way out. We appreciate it a ton. ChipItNation.com if you want to join us. For Gyiraszin, I'm Title Town. Good luck tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace.